Chill, bro. Don't know when to chill.
In all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, in dire need of a haircut, and today we're looking at Sinister, released in 2012. Sinister is part of the 2010s trend when the genre steered into more serious supernatural films that doubled as family dramas. I'm thinking mostly of the Insidious movies and the nonsense spin-offs and sequels of the Conjuring series. But to me, Sinister stands apart from those two franchises by being a little more, well, sinister. Directed and co-written by Scott Derrickson.
Yo. Leave. Good night. We don't give a it's too late for you. We don't give a if you're scared. Goodbye. Get out.
Who not only made The Exorcism of Emily Rose, but also co-wrote and directed Doctor Strange. Sinister follows a true crime writer played by Ethan Hawke as he researches an unsolved murder for his latest book. I consider Sinister one of the scariest horror movies out there. It's got the most well-crafted jump scares I've seen in a long time. And in fact, I love them so much, I just had to include a bunch of them in this episode. You've been warned. But Sinister isn't just jump scares either. It's also effectively creepy throughout, especially during the recurring Super 8 films, and the characters are also believable and well acted that you really care about what happens.
I can't watch this. He put jump scares in it. He playing too much.
Bro, John Wick movie night would go crazy.
Bro, John Wick movies are bro. That doing all that shit, a mutt.
Happens to them, even when they're kind of bringing it upon themselves. How many saints and sinners will meet their fates in Sinister? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with a hanging. As a saw cuts through a branch tied to a bunch of ropes, 4 members of the Stevenson family are pulled into the air and hanged by their necks, all while creepy music and sound design plays.
Actually, it's a purebred? Oh my god, no, I can't.
This is our inciting incident, and the backdrop for a low-key title card. It's fitting that this is the first image we see in Sinister, since it was the impetus for making the movie in the first place. Co-writer C. Robert Cargill had a nightmare after watching The Ring, where he found Super 8 footage in an attic containing the image we're looking at now. He brought up the idea years later to—
Ever since that dog tried to bite you in Walking Dead, you hate dogs. It's true.
Scott Derrickson, and the two of them work together to turn his nightmare into a movie. It's moving day for the Oswald family, who's unpacking their belongings into their new home. Daughter Ashley is upset at her father Ellison since the move's taking her away from her friends at school. But look on the bright side, little girl. At least you get to paint on the walls in your new bedroom, and maybe she'll be a bigger fan.
See, bro? Kids don't get whoopings no more, bro. Whoop y'all kids. Whoop y'all fucking kids.
Of this place after getting a look at its lovely backyard. Something about that tree looks familiar though. Can't quite place it.
Oh, the
It's
hanging.
like it's hanging right in front of me. Ellison Oswald is played by Ethan Hawke, last seen on the kill count defending his family in The Purge. He's a true crime writer, but his biggest and only hit, Kentucky Blood, came out a full 10 years ago. And although this town's deputy is a fan, Ellison's books about cold cases have earned him the ire of many a local law enforcement. Case in point, this sheriff, played by one-time presidential candidate hopeful, the late Fred Thompson, who tells Ellison he's a hack who never should have moved here.
You ruin people's lives. Now, this town doesn't need that. It needs to heal. It needs to forget.
The sheriff is talking about the Stevenson family hanging, which saw the entire family die except for youngest daughter Stephanie, who's still missing to this day. The police assume she's dead, but Ellison intends to find her. And
y'all think Ghost real? Hey, I'm Quaddy. Thank you for the Twitch Prime.
Write another hit novel in the process. Ellison's not gonna find Stephanie in his new attic, but he is going to find a clue up there, a box with a camera, and some innocuously labeled reels of Super 8 film.
Family hanging out 11. Barbecue 79.
But Ellison didn't move here to shoot a movie, he moved here to write a book. His wife Tracy's not a fan of him writing about murder, especially around Ashley and their other kid Trevor. And she'd absolutely lose her shit if she knew this house was where the Stevensons died, which is why Ellison sidestepped the question when she asked earlier.
We didn't move in a few houses down from a crime scene again, did we?
We did.
Promise?
I promise.
Tracy also worries that Ellison will never have another successful book again.
Kentucky Blood was 10 years ago.
Damn. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to see if y'all was paying attention.
And What if that was your 15 minutes?
Oh, ouch. That's just gotta cut to the core, man. She tells Ellison that if things go bad this time around, she'll take the kids and leave.
I'm sorry, bro, but if my girl ever told me some shit like that, I would have left right then and there and left her ass in that haunted house. I don't give a fuck.
He promises her everything will be fine because his stupid ass don't know he's in a horror movie. Ellison gets to work setting up his home office with crime photos and clues. And speaking of clues, might as well check out those mystery movies you found in the attic, my dude. He sets up the projector and watches the first of this film's many creepy home movies. Once again, the music accompanying the footage makes it feel really uneasy and foreboding.
Stop!
And we were right to feel that way, since eventually it cuts to the hanging footage that opened this movie. Ellison's so disturbed, he has to have a calm-me-down drink on the rocks. But hey, might as well check out that barbecue reel too, right? I'm sure that one's completely harmless. At first, it is, showing a family in the 70s hanging out on a lake. But then it too cuts to a less happy-go-lucky scene, one that shows the same family, the Martinezes, tied up in a car as unsettling music of a different caliber plays. With the camera still rolling, the car is lit on fire, and Ellison witnesses and drinks to another 3 murders. Like I said in the intro, the Super 8 segments are the best and most memorable parts of this movie. What makes them all so effective is that they were actually filmed on Super 8. They weren't shot on some HD camera, then had a filter applied during editing. They were also the first things filmed for the movie, and Scott Derrickson would play those music tracks on set to get everyone in the right mood. Ellison goes to call the police and inform them of all this hard evidence he's found, but one reminder of the past glory he hopes to achieve again, and he's hanging up the phone so he can go at it alone. That means it's home movie.
Yo, I hate people that say their favorite movies are scary movies, bro. Y'all just don't have any type of heart. How's your favorite movie a movie that gets you scared? Hey, Emil, thank you for the tier 3 gifted. I appreciate it. Thank you. That makes no sense.
Time again, and the latest release for him to check out is Pool Party 66. I'm more of a Talking Heads 77 man myself. Before he can see what aquatic adventure he's got in store, he hears a noise from somewhere else in the
aren't
house.
funny.
It's not Ashley, who's still asleep after he tucked her in earlier, mightily impressed by the evolution of her artistic abilities.
Maybe one day I'll paint something really good. Then I'll be famous like you.
Instead, it's this box he finds moving around. Cause turns out, it's a boy box. That's kind of fun, right, Ellison? Oh, nope, never mind. That's not fun at fucking all. It's straight up horrifying. Again, thanks largely to the sound design. But this isn't a new problem for Trevor, who used to sleepwalk and have night terrors all the time.
Are we talking about the time you found Trevor trying to pee in the dryer?
How drunk were you, Trevor? I knew a guy in high school who once got so drunk he pissed in his dishwasher. His parents were not amused. Ellison finally sits down to watch Pool Party the next day, and this short film shows a happy, splashy family around the pool before cutting to a deserted deck at night. Oh, actually, there are people here. They're just tied up to chase lounges lined up along the pool. We watch as all 4 of them are pulled underwater one by one in a stunt done practically on set. These actors were actually tied to those chairs and actually pulled into the pool, where divers were waiting to give them air as needed. Amazing. We never learned this family's name, but their video does reveal something else. This absolutely horrifying fellow. Wow, that dude is scary. Chelsea and I call him Spooky Face, and you can't really blame us. Motherfucker's face is spooky. Way too spooky to be correct.
Okay, you find this in your house. What is the first thing that you're doing? What is the first thing that you're supposed to do?
Bruce, he can keep the house, my guy. He can keep the house.
Something like that, man. Just like with the family being pulled into the pool, the actor playing Spooky Face there, Nicholas King, was
Why the fuck would you call me?
He can keep
What
the
would I
house,
do
and
for
I'm out
you
of
in
there,
this
bro.
situation? What
I'm
would you call me?
gone.
You don't even have my number.
Gone.
Underwater for this shot, wearing weighted shoes that kept him at the bottom. Again, divers had to give him air between takes. Complicated stuff, but worth it in my opinion. That shot is a classic, and scary as all hell. Later that night, Ellison plays another short film called Sleepy Time, which shows a first-person tour of a house that ends in a bedroom, where, once again, we watch a family get murdered. Their deaths are shown to us in a pretty tasteful/artful way, and it's nice that the little doggy there doesn't die. But the rest of the Miller family does, by means of a kitchen knife. Even a young son, though Ellison looks away and numbs himself instead of watching. He did
So why did he keep watching and didn't tell his family what he found?
Analyzes the footage and
Because
scans through it more
stupid,
thoroughly, discovering a symbol on the wall that seems important enough to print. Oh, and on photo paper too? Damn, that shit's expensive, L-Dog. Further research and some image enhancement reveals that Sleepy Time was shot in St. Louis, Missouri. Ellison finds a news report about the Miller murders online, where the reporter mentions that the family's 13-year-old son, Christopher Miller, is still missing. Sounds familiar. Things get extra nope when the house's power goes out, and Ellison starts hearing noises from up above. Just try not to panic, dude. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Jesus fucking Christ, come on! He grabs a knife and pulls down the attic ladder, then climbs all up into that void of blackness so he can get jump scared some more. He finds a box lid, or something, with a snake underneath, as well as some childlike artwork depicting all those family deaths he's seen on film. Wow, they got their own little numbers icons there, huh? And you know these were drawn by the production design PA. Included in all these illustrations is a figure labeled Mr. Boogie, which I guess is an alright name, but I mean, it's no spooky face. On his way out, Ellison falls through the attic floor, which brings a paramedic and a police officer to his home. The cop is that deputy—
Bro, this house has been on fuck shit since they moved in, bro, and this nigga still don't realize it. This is why scary movies aren't top tier as people try to put them, bro. They're fucking dumb.
Fanboy, played by James Ransone, who had previously played—
He's actually a really good actor. He was in It.
Ziggy Sabatka in The Wire, and who has since played Eddie Kasprak in It. He's a nice guy, even if his zoological facts aren't the most interesting.
I did see a small snake, though.
Snakes don't have feet.
Being a fan of Ellison's work, he offers to help the writer with whatever he needs, especially if it means a special shout-out in his book.
Well, I could be like, your deputy so-and-so. If you don't already have one.
I'm sure that's one of Ellison's Patreon tiers, dude. Ellison takes him up on his offer and asks him to find out more about those family murders, then wishes the cop well on his way.
Thank you very much, Deputy So-and-so.
Ellison hopes that with the deputy's support, he can once again write a hit book that'll land in interviews he can record on VHS. Damn, this scene is sad. But it goes a long way towards explaining why Ellison is so committed to this Mr. Boogie book. He gets back to work with the home movie footage, and I spies a Mr. Boogie in the bushes. Them shrubs got spooky face. And so did the house in the Sleepy Time footage, because that evil visage is chilling there as well. He gets a call back from the deputy with names and addresses of the unfortunate families. The family burnt to death in their car, lived in Sacramento, and had a 9-year-old son who went missing. The Sleepy Time family, the Millers, lived in St. Louis, and when the deputy gives Ellison their address, he realizes it's the previous home address of the Stevensons.
Before the Stevensons moved here, they lived where the Miller family murders happened. Holy shit.
Holy shit is right. Look over there, Ellison. Oh, you fucking missed it, man. It was pretty damn cool. Much cooler than this attic footage you're looking at. Oh, wait, you got some ghost hands on film? Never mind, that footage cool. Ellison's awoken that night by the sound of the projector playing Family Hanging Out in his school. Ellison attic footage you're looking at. Oh, wait, you got some ghost hands on film? Never mind, that footage cool. Ellison's awoken that night by the sound of the projector playing Family Hanging Out in his office. You gotta stop messing with motion pictures, man. Just stick to the static ones. They're way less scary. Never mind, shit my pants! He grabs a baseball bat to go boogie hunting in the backyard, but the only thing he finds is a boy. A boy in a bush? It's Trevor, and with his night terrors becoming more frequent, Tracy makes an impassioned plea for Ellison to drop the project and for them to move back home. In response, Ellison has a very well-acted
What the hell you doing, boy?
This is his last chance to succeed.
This is my shot, Tracy.
I really love the stuff between Ethan Hawke and Juliet Rylance. It's like if Jack and Wendy Torrance were believable characters who were actually in love.
Every minute that we're here, we're a minute closer.
I would have left them.
We always
I would have just left them.
We're almost there.
Haha, but these stupid motherfuckers still don't know they're in a horror movie. This was actually the film debut for Ms. Rylance, who prior to this had primarily been a stage actor. Ethan Hawke saw and loved her.
Bro, why do scary movies always involve one nigga trying to keep his job and then the wife wanting to leave, but they never leave, and then the wife end up leaving, then the nigga end up dying, and then they come back, and then the whole family dies?
Sam Mendes' trilogy of Shakespeare adaptations as part of his Bridge project, and personally recommended her for the role. I'm glad he did. Their chemistry is great. Deputy So-and-so shows up with more files for Ellison and talks his way into seeing the full extent of the writer's research.
I gotta be in the loop. Just a little bit.
Ellison shows him his materials, but when he mentions that the pool party incident happened in the 60s, Deputy So-and-so grows skeptical that these cases could be connected.
Your dick,
That was the guy, what, in his 70s?
60s.
But all of the murders feature a missing child, and all of the crime scenes include that weird symbol. But no, you're probably right, Deputy. Not connected at all. That night, Ellison gets to my favorite of all the home movies. It's called Lawn Work 86, and if you're wondering why, well, it's because this unseen
I know that movie.
ready to do some lawn work. Filming while doing chores? That is impressive multitasking.
Oh shit!
And that's an impressive jump scare. In fact, it's a very strong contender for my favorite jump scare of all time. And it also gives us another kill for the count, which I believe to be the mother of this footage's family, the Delusios. On a recommendation of Deputy So-and-so, Ellison Skypes a local professor named Jonas, played by an uncredited Vincent D'Onofrio. Jonas tells him that the symbol at all these crime scenes is associated with the worship of
And that man made that loud noise,
A
bro.
very obscure one, dating back to Babylonian times,
living
named
too much.
Bagul,
That's
the
not
eater of
Jack
children.
Black.
His name is spooky. You know what? Actually, Bagul, the Eater of Children, is pretty fucking metal. We can go with that, yeah. Jonas gives us a bunch of Bagak story, like how Bagul tricks kids into the netherworld and then nom-noms on their souls forever. But he says that that's just a legend, and that these murders are probably some kind of cult initiation thing. So don't worry about it, bro. Kinda hard not to worry about a film that keeps playing itself at night, though.
Bro, of course this isn't gonna make you jump, but I guarantee if you watching this by yourself in a dark room, this movie is gonna have you jump scared as fuck. Like,
finds the Stevenson
every scene
projected onto his wall, and then himself, but with no one around who could have started playing it. Not a single person at all. Well, except Stephanie Stevenson there. She's around. Maybe she loaded up that reel. Or maybe it was done by this moldy young mister before he ran over and stood there with his belly sticking out. There be ghost kids all over this goddamn place, but they're always slow motion running away before Ellison can get an eyeful. Look behind you, man. No, seriously, look behind. Yeah, nope, now you missed him. Good job. One person who's not missing these ghost kids, though, is Ashley, who's seeing them quite clearly and being told to hush. From what I can tell, the kids running around here were filmed at 48 frames per second, twice the usual frame rate, to play their footage back in slow motion. That meant Ethan Hawke had to walk around twice as fast as normal for some of these shots. Maybe that's why he's so tired that he passes out on the couch and sleeps there until morning in a shot I've always really enjoyed. Deputy So-and-so comes over for coffee and crime talk, and Ellison tells him that shit's getting weird, though So-and-so says he's probably just seeing things.
You are under so much stress, you put yourself under so much stress that your mind is trying to process all of it at once.
Doesn't help Ellison's stress levels that frickin' Ashley just painted a picture of Stephanie on their wall.
Who's Stephanie?
She used to live here. She's the one that he's writing his book about.
Oh shit, the cat's out of the bag. Dude, you should not have hid from your wife that y'all were living in a murder house, because she is pissed.
The previous owners of this home were hung from a tree in our backyard.
Well, hanged, but yeah. Ellison defends his actions and says it's not a big deal what their daughter just did.
So she painted up.
God, I love Ethan Hawke as realistic Jack Torrance. But Tracy does not, and says he can't keep putting his writing over his family. Just be glad he's not coming after you with a baseball bat, Trace. That night, Ellison gets a flashlight beam to the face, but when he wakes up, nothing's there. Except for a frame-splitting headache. Shit, it might even be a jump-cut migraine. He gets up and finds the attic ladder descended in the hallway, with the space above it lit by a flickering projector.
What is happening?
I don't know, man, but I wouldn't climb up there to find out. Ellison does, though, and finds 5 little ghost kids sitting cross-legged watching a movie together. Oh, hey, I've seen this one before. I think y'all might be a little too young to... Oh, sorry, yeah, I'll shut up. Wait, is this some kind of special Bagul cut? God fucking damn you, spooky face! The box of reels and film equipment is returned to the house's ground floor, and Ellison quickly resolves to take care of them as a badass Boards of Canada song plays. He takes it all out back for a little film strip campfire, and when Tracy finds him standing there, he tells her she was right, and that they need to GTFO up there right now.
Oh, you're freaking me out here.
Get
too
the
late.
kids pack the car.
It's way too late.
They pack up their progeny
Man,
and
what
speed
up?
away down the highway so
All
fast
I
that
need is
they're
my
pulled over by
money.
some blue and red lights. It's sure Fred Thompson, and Ellison tells him he's finally taking his advice and getting out of town. That suits the sheriff just fine, so you folk might as well just go on and get. With Ellison's book about the Stevensons canceled, the Oswalds moved back into their— What? Whoa, they lived here? Why the fuck would you ever leave this house, dog? In his enormous home office,
No, seriously,
Ellison
why
sees
would
an
you leave
email
that
from
house?
Professor Jonas with some pictures attached of ye old-timey Bagul worship. They Skype it up again, and Jonas tells him Bagul purportedly used
So
that
you live in a fucking mansion, right? And then you downgrade to a ghost-infested home.
symbol to possess people and make them do bad things, like drown their families.
Children exposed to the images were especially vulnerable to Bagul's possession.
Hey, you're right. I gotta let them do them.
Ellison
It's
freaks
their life.
out and trashes the Bagul files, but he might need to format that drive, because in his attic, he finds those home snuff films again, and in
What?
fact, this box set even features some alternate endings. Alright, you can add those to their IMDb's, dude. While he's editing the footage, Deputy So-and-so calls him and tells him that he shouldn't have moved away, because that's actually how all the murdered families are connected.
Each family that you had me look up had previously lived in the house where one of the earlier murders took place. And when you put them in chronological order, you can actually draw a line from murder to murder to murder.
So the Stevensons previously lived at the Miller family's house in St. Louis, and they had previously lived in the Deluzio Lawn Massacre house in Orange County, etc., etc. Ellison hangs up and plays the extended endings, the first of which shows little Stephanie Stevenson climbing down the tree trunk and swinging around on one of her family
Are you
members'
telling me
horses.
fuck?
Holy shit, dude! Oh, sorry.
A small self-tank up
Yeah,
family.
by this time you've probably figured it out, but turns out all the missing kids from these murders were indeed the ones responsible for killing the rest of their families. And boy, did they want you to keep quiet about it. These extended endings also give us the rest of the Deluzio family for the kill count, since we see their bodies wrapped up in bags at the end of this long, wet night of lawn work. Yeah, we know. Keep it down. All of a sudden, Ellison's feeling a little woozy, and it may have something to do with the DOA drink in his mug. Night-night, Daddy, but thanks for all your editorial
Oh my God, his daughter.
work.
I like that you made the movies longer. They're better this way.
Ellison wakes up, duct taped and bound on some tarps, with Tracy and Trevor visibly in the same condition. And don't look now, but it's axe and camera time. Ashley uses axe and camera time to murder her parents and brother, though none of it is shown on screen. Instead, we just see the very bloody aftermath, while Ashley gives us the usual admonition about our volume. She's used her family's blood to finally paint her masterpiece, and thanks to that artistic achievement, she's now cool enough to join the Ghost Kid gang. I love the shot of them looking over to Ashley as she adds her confessional drawing to that stick figure tapestry they have going. Good stuff. Ashley stares up at her new peers and mimics their little head tilt, revealing old Spooky Face behind her, who scares all the other ghost kids away. With that, Bagul scoops up Ashley so she can be part of his cast of kids, and jump cuts with her right into the movie. Pretty sure that's the same thing Wes Anderson did to Jason Schwartzman, come to think of it. Ashley's movie House
She sold her
joins the box
soul.
of film reels, and the movie ends with a shot of them sitting in the attic. Just kidding. You knew it was gonna end with a jump scare. Just like you knew this to the numbers
Yeah,
game
that
was gonna
wasn't a
have
bad
one,
one.
too. Or not.
That was a pretty good one. I didn't expect that movie to be like somewhat good. It's really like the movie explained. Like you don't even have to watch
20
it. after
people
this.
died in Sinister, with an even split between the 10 male victims and the 10 female victims. Both demos featuring a number of children. That makes the pie chart more disturbing. With a runtime of 110 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 5.5 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to the Deluzio mother killed in the lawn work film. I just seriously love that jump scare, man. So Machete for lamest kill will go to the other Deluzios, since we only saw the bagged aftermath of their deaths. And that's
Hey,
it.
Bendo, thank you for the
Sinister
5 months.
came out in 2012, and so far has only had a single sequel, which I'll be looking at next week. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this week's Kill Count. I want to thank
Thanks
some
a lot for you,
patrons
man.
like
Alright, Sinister 2, 2015. This movie came out 2015. Ain't it, bro? 2015 is when I fucking started high school, bro. It's 2022 now. That is so fucking crazy to me.